Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kagam. Okay, you guys, so today we have a bunch of things we need to talk about. We're going to talk about the Chanel 22, the new release from Big C. And then I have a new theory about the Chanel 22 and it involves Big H. And then at the end, we're going to talk about some Big H bits and pieces that don't warrant their own video, but I think they're important enough for you to hear about. Okay, so let's talk about it. We all have been hearing about the new release from Chanel, which is of course the 22. So this was seen on the catwalk. It's just escaped me now which catwalk season it was. We did see the bag on the catwalk. So this bag is actually called the 22. Big C have a PR push behind this bag, Annie, because people are talking about this bag on different websites. Lots of people have been reposting pictures of the bag. They started giving the bag out to their faces and their own house influencers that they work with. So the bag is starting to circulate now and people are talking about the bag. So I want to just give you my very unfiltered, honest opinion about the bag. Do I like this bag? No. Will I purchase this bag? No. But do I appreciate this bag? Yes. Let me explain why. First of all, salute to Double V for having her own design. You know, going behind, going in the shadow of Karl Lagerfeld would not be easy for anyone. Karl Lagerfeld has designed many iconic styles for the house. He redesigned some of Coco Chanel's original designs, like the turn lock. He made some edits to that. He designed the trendy, he created the Coco handle, he created the boy bag, and of course he created the Chanel 19. Big H is going to be affected by the launch of the 22 because if the 22 is successful, in my opinion, okay, Chanel and Hermes share clientele. I'm sure both brands know that they share clientele. People who shop at Hermes do shop at Chanel. People shop at Chanel, shop at Hermes. If the 22 is successful, in my opinion, it is going to kind of increase the value of the Kelly 32, the Birkin 35, and the Birkin 40. Those three sizes are not popular at the brand at the moment. People don't really want to buy those big, those big sizes right now. People are just not really interested in that. I talked about that in my previous video where I focused on the Kelly 32. I didn't really talk about the Birkin 35 or the Birkin 40, but the Birkin 35 and the Birkin 40 are also really big bags. I like big bags. I think big bags are fantastic. I like them. I love those massive 19s. So I noticed something that was kind of starting to percolate a little bit on Instagram when I was researching this video. I was like, let me go look for 19s. Let me just look at 19s. I was seeing people post pictures of big 19s, like big Chanel 19s. And it really got me thinking, okay? Because if this 22 launch is successful, there is no way that people who follow Big H are not going to be like, ooh, the Birkin 35, maybe I should give it a once over, maybe I should look at it again, or the Kelly 32 or the Birkin 40, if the launch of the 22 is successful. We don't know if this bag launch is going to be successful. We don't know that. It's not like everything that Big C does is, really successful. We don't know. Is it going to be like a hot bag that everyone is obsessed with? I feel like it's really hard to tell because we haven't seen it in the store yet, because it hasn't launched yet. And I believe it's coming, I think it's coming out, if I recall correctly, it's coming out March, April, for 22S, right? I really hope I'm getting this right. I think it's coming for 22S. So let's say March, April. So for right now, let's say April, that's when the bag will be in store. So just in time for summer. It's actually quite clever to release it for that time. People are going to be going on holidays. You can't go on holiday and put your swimsuit in a mini Kelly, okay? You can't put your, all the things for your holiday in a Kelly pochette. You can't, okay? It doesn't matter how much you try. You cannot put everything in those bags. So it's clever to release it for the summer months because people will be going on holiday. And that's when maybe Chanel is hoping to basically launch the bag for summer, when you know that people are going to be traveling, people are going to be out and about, people are going to be leaving their flats, leaving their properties. You are going to need a bigger bag to put things in. I think it's a clever, the timing is the right timing. I'm going to be very interested to see if it is popular, because sometimes I think us who are here on YouTube, we're a tiny percentage of the people who actually shop these things and who like these things. We're just a tiny percentage. There are lots of people who buy from Big C who don't have Instagram accounts, who don't have Facebook accounts, who are not even on Instagram. I've got friends who shop at Big H and Chanel in the UK, and they don't have Instagram accounts. There are many people like that who, you know, are going to love this bag. So I think it's just so important to kind of keep that in mind. Like, while I feel like the bag isn't my personal taste, I don't really think it matters. You know, the other day I was in this jewelry group. Someone had posted their Cartier I love bracelet stack. I thought it was a beautiful stack, and it was very maximalist. And they were like, is my stack too much or is it fine? And some people were like, yeah, you should make your stack minimalistic and elegant, and it's too much. And I was like, the only thing that matters, okay, is your opinion of the stack. If you think that the bracelets look good, your energy, your vibe, your mood, your spirit will make them look good. But if you think that you need someone else's validation, they're never going to look good, whether it's one bracelet or 10. And I think it's the same thing for this bag. I think if this bag is your personal style, it's going to look good. But in my opinion, Big C know what time it is. They know this is a, you know, Instagram approach to promote this bag. If they don't work with top influencers, this bag is it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, to me as a marketing professional, this is going to be a bag that's going to be pushed on Instagram. Big C does quietly, very quietly, work with some influencers, and they're probably going to need to really work with more in order, I think, to kind of convince people about this bag, because the initial reaction in the Chanel community was lukewarm. However, that doesn't mean that the bag isn't going to be successful just because I don't like it or you don't like it. The question here is, like, one thing that I appreciate about Chanel, that frankly Big H don't do, Chanel don't rest on their previous successes. And I will give Big C this, okay? I'm sorry. You Big H fans, you have to agree. You know, Big H is locked in this prison that's called the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance prison. Okay, you're in the prison of 3 really successful bags, and you have to basically force people to go purchase other bags. Chanel tries new things. They don't just rest on the laurels of the classics. They make sure that they release like new launches that people want to purchase, and they have a lot of permanent bags to choose from. They don't just have like a Birkin, a Kelly, and a Constance. They've got a lot of bags that are permanent and that people do want to buy and that people do like and look forward to. Like, even in a lot of Chanel groups, like I'm seeing comments right now like, oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing the colors for this. Me personally, I want to see the colors for the trendy CC for 22S, because that's when the trendy is coming back, because obviously it wasn't around for 22P. And you can say what you want, but Chanel are good like that. They do make sure they're not resting off the laurels of the classics. They're not just saying, okay, we have the classics that can, you know, carry us. They're like, let's try something new. I'm going to be very curious if the 22 is successful. I feel like Chanel don't really take L's when it comes to bags. Like, they've never taken a real L, to be honest. We'll see. Double V, this is Double V's original design. This is not a Karl Lagerfeld thing. You don't have we don't have Karl Lagerfeld's archive, you know, to kind of rest on. This is like a completely fresh new design by a new designer. Personally, I feel like it's so different from what he would do. I don't feel like he would have designed a bag like this, and that is not a bad thing because something is different. It's just different. We need to see what it looks like. There was a picture I saw. I don't know if I can find it. If I can, I'll try and put it up on the screen if I can find it. And it was I think someone who's known to Chanel. I think she's an influencer as well, and she's one of their faces or something like that. And she was carrying the black version of that 22. It looked good on her, which is to my point that if it's your style, the bag is going to look good. Like, if this like thing is your style. Maybe one reason why they named it after the 19 is it does have that slouchy casual vibe that the 19 has. You know, the 19 is an unstructured bag. It's a top handle. It can be crossbodied. This one is a large bag that's kind of following on from that. Is there a market for that? Long term, who knows? Like, let's see how the bag does. We will know in April and May once we start seeing the bag on Instagram. We start seeing people unboxing the bag. But more importantly, this bag to me is like a bag that you need to wear. There's certain bags that are so driven for Instagram, like the Mini Kelly is such an Instagram bag. The Chanel 19 is a huge Instagram bag. Like, it looks so good on Instagram. But this one here, I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's an Instagram bag. It seems to me more of like a bag for people's lifestyle. So we're going to see if it's going to succeed or not. I do think it's going to impact the Birkin 35, the Birkin 40, and the Kelly 32 in terms of interest. There'll be people who are going to see the success of the Chanel 22 if it succeeds. We're just speaking hypothetically. And they're going to say, I want to have a large, big H bag that I know is made by hand, but because I see Chanel's larger bag is popping, let me go get a big H bag that is large. We'll see. But I think that the Birkin 35 is coming back. I think the Kelly 32 is coming back. I think the Birkin 40 is coming back. I think if you can get any of these three as a store offer this year, you need to do it, because I feel like these bags are definitely going to be coming back. Okay, so the final thing I wanted to discuss with you that I thought was really interesting, and it's kind of like a come to Jesus talk a little bit. I was in this group, and a bunch of people were talking about a city in America. I'm going to say the name of the city, Las Vegas. They were talking about the Big H situation there. And someone was saying, you know, can they go and score there? Someone commented and said that they know someone who spent like $25,000 buying bits and pieces before they were given a quota bag offer the day after. We don't know what quota bag it was. I'm assuming it was a Birkin, a Kelly, or a Constance. Okay, fine. And yes, Constance not a quota bag in America, but you know what I'm saying. And it really got me thinking, you know, one of the things I think Big H benefits from that you are not going to see on this channel, because I'm not going to let Big H get away with this, okay? But one of the things that Big H gets away with, in my opinion, is making people feel like these bags are being given out for free, okay? You see this in YouTube videos. I get these comments all the time. Please don't leave these annoying comments on my channel, okay? Because I'm not really going to interact with you, because to me it's a bit fake. You know, someone will say, oh, I was offered a bag and I don't really spend any money. You purchased the bag, okay? The Shadow Birkin in Paris is 8,700 euros from the boutique, okay? Even if you were offered a Shadow Birkin in your local city and you didn't spend any money, you're still spending your currency's equivalent of 8,700 euros. There's this weird thing with with Big H, I beg your pardon, where everyone acts as if you're walking into Big H, okay? And you have been given things for free without spending money. Even if you bought a Twilly, you still did pre-spend, and I think it's very important to note this. Please do not come on this channel, honey, and leave these types of annoying comments like I was offered a Birkin 30 or 35 or a Birkin 30 and I didn't really have any spend. Because you know, on this channel, particularly in the group, we are very thorough. There's some ballers in that group, and you are not going to get away with those comments, honey, because people are going to ask you like, where you are. Like for me, I'm going to say one thing, I'm going to say congrats, and then I'm going to ask you, where are you? Boo-boo, okay. And then I'm going to ask you your location. I'm going to ask you, what are the things you purchased from Big H this year? Because I think it's so important. So like in that Las Vegas story, that person who spent 25K and got a quota bag, that's like what, 2.5, that's a ratio of what, 2.5 to 1, give or take. Like that person did what they had to do because they know the game. Another thing that I've noticed, like, you know, a lot of people are doing at the moment, which again, I'm not really a huge fan of. You don't see this in other houses. You don't even see this at Rolex. You never see like the Rolex luxury YouTube pages. They will never talk like this, but for some reason, Big H people do. They'll be like, you know, it's about the relationship you have with the brand or the SA. Unless you are grandfathered into a relationship with your SA and your SA has been working at the brand for like what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I feel like those situations are completely different. Someone who's been working at Big H for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years as an SA, that person is, you know, probably going to work there until they retire, you know, so that person maybe sees things on a much more personal level. But in today's Instagram soak generation, this idea that you're going to have a relationship with someone who you don't know, who is not a member of your family, who's not your friend, I think it's just something that Big H in a way kind of benefits from. Even though Big H has never said it's a relationship, they kind of benefit from it. And I think what it does is it applies a lot of pressure to people who are trying to score, because people think, I need to have a relationship with my SA. I need to give them gifts. I need to bring cupcakes to the boutique. I need to ask them about their day. I need to ask them all these things. It's a business relationship. It's a business transaction. That is how you need to look at it. And at the end of the day, business is based on one thing. It's not based on cupcakes, okay? It's not based on, oh, she's really nice, we share secrets and all of this. It's based on money. And that is the most important thing. So that person who went to Vegas and spent 25K, they understood the game, the situation, their journey, whatever you want to call it. They understood what they needed to do. Some of you might say, well, why doesn't that person just go resell? I personally think that person is probably more honest about their situation. Maybe they don't want to go resell. I know I don't. I've got no interest in shopping at resell at all. I want to be treated as any other person walking into a boutique. And if that means game playing, I want to be given the same chance as everyone else. I'm just not interested. But I know for some people, it's like, oh my God, I can't be bothered to deal, with the shenanigans. Let me just go resell. So I think it's just really important to take note of that. Like the situation with Big H, particularly because of Instagram and social media, forums and YouTube. I know I'm also kind of part of it because I discuss it. It's really important to understand that it's not, and I don't like the every journey is different thing. You notice on my channel, I don't use that phrase. I don't believe in that phrase. That phrase I think is marketing gibberish that Big H is getting away with kind of feeding to their essays, and then their essays feed it to their top VIPs, and then VIPs tell everyone else. I've noticed that particularly on the past forum, every journey is different. Every journey is different. I don't agree with that. Journeys, experiences, shopping, it's all about money at the end of the day. If you are spending, you're going to get a bag offer, give or take. As long as you're not like annoying the essay, you're going to get a bag offer. If you're a slow spender and a slow burn, like you're not going to spend a ton of money, it might take a while. Particularly in wishlist countries, it might take 2-3 years, but eventually you're going to get an offer. In those really competitive locations, eventually everyone's going to get an offer, but invariably the people who spend are the people who are going to get an offer quick. Someone explained to me that someone going to Las Vegas and spending $25,000 and then being offered a Birkin or a Kelly the next day. Tell me that's a relationship. Guys, stop, okay? I'm sorry, it's not. Okay, and I think it's just more, I feel like the way things are run in mainland China, we've all heard about the situation in mainland China. We've all heard that the boutiques in mainland China, they're gangster. They just tell you straight up, like, you have to spend X amount. People know they have to spend X amount. Now, Big H say it doesn't exist. We all know it exists. So let's just stop these kind of routines because it's so exhausting. That's the only thing that I find a little bit tiring, I think, about the Big H community, in some parts of the Big H community, because I feel like some people benefit from this whole idea that it's a journey and that everyone's experience is different. Whereas I feel like really it's about luck and it's about your spend and it's about money. Some people do have unicorn experiences where they just walk into the boutique and they're offered like a Birkin 30 or a Birkin 35, but it's very rare. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Only the people who have been offered bags will come on YouTube and will come to share. I feel like that's why when I came back from Paris, I made sure to kind of document my experience there, because I don't see myself as an influencer. I've already told you that I do feel like influencers are treated a little bit differently. So some of you were telling me, I remember when I came back, some of you were sending me videos of influencers who had scored in Paris at the same time I was there. You cannot compare me as a businesswoman with my own company, doing my own thing, to an influencer whose job it is to influence you. I don't see myself as an influencer, I don't. I just see myself as a normal person with a career who loves shopping. I love brands, and that's it. And I think it's just so important to be aware of these nuances and don't be affected too much by what you see on social media. When I saw that story of the Las Vegas thing, it just crystallized to me everything that frankly, everything that Big H is about. We hear all these things. Yes, it's about relationship. It's about this. Every journey is different. I swear, if I hear that one more time, okay. But no, it's about money. The people who spend, and I remember in the group, the person said that this person was spending that 25K. They spent it on fine jewelry, ready to wear, and they were given a bag the next day. I mean, come on, guys. It is what it is. If you're a baller, if you're balling hard, it's gonna happen. I feel like as long as you kind of understand that, I feel like you can enjoy shopping at Big H. That at the end of the day, broadly speaking, it is about your spend. But yes, those of you who are grandfathered into good relationships, it's about the relationship. So for the people who have those relationships where the person who works at Big H has been working there for ages and that person's your SA, then for you, it is kind of a relationship. I would say that's the minority of people that shop from this brand. I also want to make a point about those of us who can only shop in Paris, because this is what directly affects me. I got a message from one of you. One of you guys messaged me, and you live in another African country. I was allowed to share this part, but just not say what country she's from. And the question was like, you know, how long does it take to get the visa? Can you organize the appointment before you got the visa? So I want to just clarify, for those of you who are from African countries, you're from the West Indies, you cannot apply for the Big H appointment in Paris until you get your visa. You have to get your visa first. And in Tanzania's case, it takes 7 days to get a visa for France and for the Schengen zone. And then once you have your visa and you have your flight, then you can, you know, start, you know, applying for the appointment, obviously. So you can see that the situation in Paris is completely different. In Paris as well, it's really, really hard to connect with SAs. I remember there was a comment that I got ages ago. Someone commented and was saying how they went to Paris and they were allowed to make a special order and they were allowed to buy a very, very, very highly coveted exotic bag, and their friend got a mini Kelly and they were allowed to buy this other bag. It's just like, at the end of the day, unless the Tupac hologram puts me there, yeah, unless I physically see you get those offers, that's just not really something I'm just going to believe like that, because there are many people who live in Paris, and even for them to get appointments, it's not easy to click like that, because the situation in Paris is completely different in that all of the SAs working there, they know you're trying to do the thing that you're told to do, which is make a connection and have a good relationship. There are few people who connects with people who've worked there for years and years and years, and that takes years and years and years to build that kind of connection. Notice I say connection, not relationship. So I feel like the better way, for me anyway, and this is just what I think, the better way to play Paris, I think, is to go to Paris and buy those really cool things that you do like. In my case, exotic SLGs, exotic pieces. Those are the things I really like from the brand. And then I was looking at some of their fine jewelry that I thought was nice, like bracelets. I don't wear necklaces. I don't really like their rings, so I wouldn't wear a Big H ring. I would only buy something I like, which is their bracelets. And then to focus on that maybe once or twice a year. If you're in a situation like me where you don't have a home store, you can't go to your closest home boutique that would be like your home store and go and spend there. And I feel like when it pertains to Paris, I don't think that there's like necessarily a way to score. Honestly, I don't even really watch like those how to score in Paris videos, because now that I've been there physically myself and I've been to all 3 of the boutiques, I know the most important thing you need to do is to get the appointment. Once you get the appointment, you can figure out how you're going to connect with the SA. Notice I keep saying connect, because it's about a connection. It's not necessarily about a relationship. And these are just kind of, it was just something I was just meaning to share with you guys, because I feel like those of us who are in a situation like me, you cannot compare like my situation of having to score in Paris to someone who lives in London and who can see their SA every week. It's just not the same thing. So this idea of it being a relationship, I think it's really only a relationship if you've inherited the SA from either your parents, your mom, or it's a relationship if the SA has worked at the Stallion for years and years and years. I feel like the people who work at the brand and have worked at the brand for like 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, 7 years, those people will see it as a relationship. But the other SAs who maybe are working there for a year, 2 years, it's going to be about spend. I feel like we need to kind of just have that. We need to be able to just be a little bit plain. I feel like I've been speaking respectfully, but I think that's really important, because I feel like once you understand that it's different for different people, but not because it's a different journey, but because the situation with the SA is different, I feel like you can understand it. Because I feel like if I felt like it had to be a relationship, the situation in Paris and thinking about Paris would be way more stressful than it needs to be. Whereas now that I've been there, I kind of understand it's a transaction and you need to get the appointment and get lucky. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much everything I just wanted to just talk about when it pertains to Chanel and Big H. After this video, we're not talking about Chanel and Big H for some time. I've got a really exciting video coming next, which is about Azzedine Alaya, about Moschino, lots of other really cool brands of things that you can buy from other houses. There's so many incredible brands out there that are doing incredible things that are so fun, so vibrant, and I don't want you guys to miss out. I don't want to miss out either, so I'm always looking at them as well. So I really hope that you'll be enjoying those videos. Big H is amazing and everything, and so Chanel, but I can't talk about them all the time because I feel like I won't be as interesting. Another thing is I want to like talk more about ready to wear, show you fine jewelry. I want us to talk about luxury hotels. That's something I do with Edwin all the time. We go to luxury hotels, I just never talk about it. I don't just want to talk about bags. I have so many great fun things that are coming on the channel. I don't want you guys to miss out. So make sure that you're fully subscribed, you hit notifications. And yeah, tell me what you think about this video. What do you think about the Chanel 22? What do you think? Do you think it's going to have an impact on the Kelly 32? Don't think about the craft. Don't bring up craftsmanship. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, is the launch, if the launch of the 22 is successful, will that make more people want to buy the Kelly 32, the Birkin 35, and the Birkin 40? And what are your thoughts on the fact that people are playing the game, and the game does exist, and it's not about relationships? I would love to know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video.